Whoa. Put 200 on the dashboard. Fast car, shawty foreign, need a passport. Yeah, though.
Hi guys, welcome to the Odie Podcast. I'm Max.
Wait.
And today we are going to be talking about... What's the name of the video?
It's a infographic show, and they basically did a breakdown about the difference between men and women's sex drives and what makes us want sex type shit and what drives us to like shit like that. The differences basically.
So we're going to analyze this video, so let's get at it. Give me a minute, let me set it up. Alright.
A woman sits down to write a letter to a magazine advice column. Her husband is in the room next to her playing Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Every so often she can hear him curse and shout, at which point she grits her teeth in anger. "He won't have sex with me," she writes, adding, "The few times we've had sex, and I can count those on one hand, I had to beg for it." She's hoping someone will be able to explain what happened to this guy. Today, you'll find out. The example we just used is real. The woman claimed in the letter that her husband had slept with her once in the last 7 years. Just like that, he stopped. When she asked him what went wrong, he just told her it just stopped working, meaning his John Thomas. He explained to her that this is what happens to men in their 50s. She didn't believe him, blaming herself and her weight gain. In the last paragraph of the letter, she wrote, "I'm isolated, bored, frustrated, lonely, rejected, unwanted, hurt, and angry. I'm sick of feeling like I'm selfish for wanting sex with my husband." Part of the reply she got was, "It's about your husband's failings as a human being, about his self-hatred, about his ineptitude and his decline." But what if he just lost his sex drive? Can that happen? Does it happen more to men than women? Who has the strongest sex drive in nature in general? What do we really want sexually? Those are some questions we'll answer today, among many other fascinating things we'll discuss related to men and women wanting or not wanting to get it on. But first of all, what is a sex drive? Another term for it is libido. You can't measure it. It's not an actual part of your brain. It's just a thing we talk about in reference to how much a person wants to have sex. All humans have these things called sex hormones, which regulate through biological processes our wanting for sex. If such hormones were absent or for some reason depleted, we might lose our sex drive. For instance, certain drugs can affect those hormones, such as some antidepressants. But there's more to sex drive than chemical reactions. There's the psychological side too, such as you feeling the need for sex because you've become very attracted to someone. If a person really attracts you, your sex drive might go into hyperdrive. Or for a woman, her sex drive might get into third gear right before she ovulates, when the egg is released from her ovary. That's because her testosterone levels change during this stage of menstruation. This drive develops when we're very young, before we really understand sex at all. Then, when we go through puberty, it really gets going. Ask any teenage boy who's had to do his own laundry for fear of what his mother might discover. Boys generally get very horny at around the age of 15. This is the point in many boys' life when even sitting on a vibrating bus can cause a stir in his loins. Before this age, both boys and girls might get some kind of sexual interest in someone, but it can be vague. Still, one study showed that 25% of boys and girls as young as 11 or 12 reported that they think about sex. But when they hit their teens, something changes. It's in the early teens that many boys will start having sexual fantasies. What was previously a nascent and vague feeling about sex becomes something very much real. Only 10% of boys start masturbating at the age of 10, but by the time they're 11 or 12, it's around half of all boys that partake in the old five-knuckle shuffle. The vast majority of boys will slap the salami once they get to 13 and 14, while hardly any girls at all will masturbate before they are 13. From 13 to 14, only about 20% of girls will masturbate. These are rough figures we found in the both puberty and adolescent sexuality. But we have to remember there are many factors as to when the sex drive develops, and as to when it's acted upon, such as our culture. Scientists tell us that when guys are around that sometimes difficult age of 15, they're in the most hyper stage of horniness. This is due to their raging testosterone levels. With females, it's very different. Their sex drive really comes into full swing sometime in their 30s. Just as a man's libido might be in its first stage of waning, a woman's can really get going. This, of course, can sometimes cause problems in a relationship. It's akin to discovering Chocolate Mountain when your teeth have fallen out and your appetite isn't what it used to be. In short, men are fast starters, but women catch up. But that doesn't mean both men and women can't be involved in a sexual relationship.
Okay. So they say for starters, men are fast starters and women catch up, as in libido-wise. But then when you catch up, a lot of men, I think when they said about like, when the woman was talking about her husband doesn't want to have sex with her, I genuinely believe this statement I'm saying. It's not all about how she looks. Sometimes it's about how she treats him. I think the longer you're with your husband or whatever, the longer women are with their man, the like more like stern and less sweet you are, if that makes any sense. I think it's hard to stay in touch with like being sweet to a man, if that makes like, you know what I'm saying?
It do make sense.
It's hard for women to stay in touch with that.
I think that's just because of life itself. People go through certain things, and that changes them, change how they would respond to certain situations as well. So the older that people get, sometimes you see their response is more calm in comparison to what they would have done if they were like 25 experiencing that same shit. They didn't have those life experiences, so.
I get it, but I'm talking about just the sex. I'm just saying the sex. Like just being sweet and nice to a man.
It's a turn on.
Yes, will very much make him want to have, like, I think the older women they get a little bit like how they say bitter, or like just it's kind of get whatever, I don't know, it's different. Now they're also, which I know they're going to go on, they have to go on in the video to say that some men do fuck into their 80s and whatnot, and ooh.
You want to get there?
Oh yeah, we get there. I'm just saying that's women catch up, but some men can stay up too.
Ship right up until their 70s or even 80s. One study we found said 40% of adults aged 65 to 80 are sexually active, and more than half, 54%, say sex is important to their quality of life. That's not the kind of study children and grandchildren like reading when thinking about their parents and grandparents, but don't think for a minute, kids, that the older folks can't wear out the bed springs. According to a paper written by researchers at Manchester University's School of Social Sciences, there are some sexual survivors who just don't retire their sex organs. These are the folks that are still going at it in their 80s, and they are loving it. Still, these folks are in the minority. The paper said by the time we reach 85, only 1 in 10 women are still interested in sex, but for men, it was a quarter of them. For men, though, their drive isn't always represented by a phallus that can stand straight up when it's needed to go to battle. Luckily for them, there are drugs these days that can help that little phallus bring back to life. But as we said, there are more than biological concerns when it comes to sex drive. Plenty of women have hit stagnancy in the sexual realm in their middle ages, and found in later life, when they met the right guy, their sex drive suddenly flourished again.
Okay, so earlier on, they explain everything about how men operate, how women operate. Men are going to be more horny and solely display that, hence why you have that idea of the chase. They have that expression with the chase. So men chase, and that's why it looks like that. Now, when we get older, our sex drive catches up. And when our sex drive catches up, your sex drive is now declining. And now you guys need a blue pill?
Yeah, and I think it's funny because women like older men. So like,
right? That's what I was coming to.
It's like you like an older man who's going to be less interested in sex earlier than you.
But let me educate you. I mean, you know this already, what I'm gonna tell you anyway. What men look for in women are different to what women look for in men. So you're looking for youth. You're looking for, compatibility. We're looking for security. So we want to make sure you have money, and it's a fact that people usually have money the older that they are and more established in life. So now I have to just accept the blue pill dick because I want more money.
Yeah, basically.
Alright, let's go.
Same goes for men. There are social elements too, such as people thinking they're past it. Old folks might be stuck in a home for the elderly, which is not exactly a sexy environment, but some older people might use their retirement to travel the world where they...
I just want to say, if you were an old people home retirement, you would be fucking all the grannies. That would just be so terrible. You'd be like, oh, I just love being here. Your kids will visit you and be like, do you want to come with us for a month or two? You'd be like, no, that will fuck with my regimen. Like, I'm really healthy. I'm not going to be able to work out the way I could at your place. Well, Pops, I got a gym. No, it's not going to be the same.
and their sexuality explodes again. But what about in general? Do either men or women have a higher sex drive? You already know that young males have a stronger sex drive than young females. But in the case of the married couple in the intro, they were both grown up. It seems in that circumstance, the woman had the stronger sex drive. But if science is correct, this is an anomaly. It's also likely the man just didn't find the woman sexually attractive anymore. He blamed his age, but was he secretly fantasizing about a younger woman?
That's the same thing that you were talking about then.
Yes.
And that's what you talk about in the beginning, losing yourself and losing the femininity. But
Yeah, I was
also
saying just
understanding.
being sweet.
Yeah.
He's not sexually attracted to you because you're kind of a bitch. Just not trying to call you a bitch, but you kind of, you grew to have this. We've been together 5-10 years, and now you goddamn just a little bitchy. And I'm not that same,
I mean, I'm just gonna speak for myself. I'm not speaking for other women. I have realized me trying to get him to do what I want him to do. I need to try to treat him like I'm a car salesman. Like I need to pitch him and get him to win and buy my product. So I can't tell him what he should do. I can't demand what I want. I need to put that in a form, way, or fashion that also may be beneficial to him. And now, therefore, I have created a thought in his mind that he really wants what I want. But I just want what I want. I win.
Well, I don't know what the hell just happened. Anyways.
A man in his 50s wouldn't usually just lose his sex drive. In fact, males aged from their late teens to their 60s will think about sex on average once a day. Although it's not easy to measure this, as you can understand. Still, men said they'll fantasize about sex a lot more when they're still young. But
how much do you fantasize about sex in a day? Like on a regular day, like just be honest. I mean, I don't ever judge you anyway.
I can't put a number on it, but I wake up and it's probably the second or third thing I think about as soon as I wake up.
Oh, I mean, the only reason that I can talk to you about and we have honest conversations is we had a conversation on how fast can you nut. And I'm like, dang, I want to be able to get those second nuts. Like, that's an accomplishment. Be able to nut so fast. That's an accomplishment. It meant like you were aroused by whatever the situation was.
Oh yeah, I guess you could look at it that way, but
that's how I look at it.
You gotta fuck around. Yeah, shit, girl, you had to put some real work in to get that second one.
I'm a first man.
You crazy as hell.
keep fantasizing until they hit their winter years. Yep, your grandfather will more than likely still look at young women and imagine getting it on with them. A social psychologist at Florida State University named Roy Baumeister had made a name for himself studying the sex drive, as well as writing myriad well-known books on the matter such as Addiction. He researched the sex drive for a long time, and after interviewing scores of people, he discovered that men get sexually turned on in a spontaneous sense much more than women. He said men want sex more often than women at the start of the relationship, in the middle of it, and after many years of it. This goes for heterosexual men and homosexual men. He also found that men want a higher number of sexual relationships in their lives, and they're more down than women on average in having casual sex. Women focus more on having meaningful relationships, while men are generally more okay with having one-night stands and things like that.
I just want to put it out there. The only reason that we are more interested in having meaningful relationships is not because we want to have meaningful relationships, but we also do understand that if we didn't try to have meaningful relationships, no one would take us seriously.
Baby, they aren't even talking about that part of the psyche. They're saying in general.
That's just how we feel. Like
That's
in
what
general,
women are interested in.
Okay, I agree. We want that, but we also would like to be promiscuous, I would say. A lot of women.
Some women may want to be promiscuous.
Yeah, a lot of women. I think so.
I don't think it's a lot of women.
I would say it's a lot because, so many people are fighting for feminine rights, and I'm not talking that feminine rights are wrong in any form or fashion, but just a sexual part.
If this is true, if women just want to be promiscuous, why do they have their... We won't talk this out. You might want to go ahead and lock your phone because this is going to be an actual conversation.
That's fine.
Why do they have their hot girl summers, city girls or whatever, when they're young and they actually don't even have high libidos? That's when they do their most slutting. And then they get older and then they don't want to slut no more.
Okay.
How does that make sense?
So,
but when they get older, their libido's higher.
because they do understand for a fact. They don't need to wait till they get old to understand that they are in their prime and they look the best and they know that shit and they know that they are wanted and they are hot and young. Yes. So we are going to ride that wave until we can ride it because we're no longer hot and young. And now you have to consider, okay, I'm no longer hot and young and I can't do the same things that I used to do. I don't go to the club as I used to.
Okay, but you want to be promiscuous. Your sex drive is higher now.
Yes.
Bust that pussy open mode.
Right, I understand, but that's not the way it works. Now we want to.
You're saying they want to be promiscuous. If you truly want to be promiscuous, you will be busting that pussy open even mode.
Okay. So let me say, it's not that we. I believe women would not mind being able to have sex with multiple people. But that's not how the world works.
I'm literally arguing that. Right? It's not the world. That is just how women, that's what y'all are interested in.
I just told you again, I'm agreeing with you on that. Yes, that is how we think. But we also would not mind. I believe that there are females who would not mind saying like, hey, okay, I don't want to be judged for why my body count is 110 because
that was my point. But that was my point. If that's the case, why when you hit your 30s and your libido is actually higher, your sex drive is higher, why don't you pop that pussy even more?
So, as a female, we are judged by the public. Mm-hmm. Women work off of emotions, men work off of logic. 1 and 1 equals 2. If you tell me you fuck 40 dudes, it's not going to equal to any less than 40. It's going to equal 40 in a man's eyes. A female emotionally...
Why does that matter?
A female emotionally, we aren't being like, oh, okay, well, let's think about the number of guys that we fuck. We don't care about the number, but guys are judging the number. So we also have to take in consideration that we, like, by having sex with a lot of guys.
Why does that matter if you want to pop that pussy?
Because
why does that matter?
Because even though you want to, that does not mean that you have to.
What do you mean?
So it means
if you want to be promiscuous, you want to pop the pussy. Why does it matter if a dude don't want you because you got 40 bodies?
So we're married, right? So you're telling me that you as a man, they just stated on this infographic thing that you want to have more sex than me.
Yeah.
And that's a fact. So you're telling me that any female who approaches you and wants to have sex with you, I should understand that you're cheated because this is a fact that you want to have more sex and therefore you will.
No.
So then why are you telling me to do the same?
I'm not telling you to do the same.
Yeah.
You're saying women want to be promiscuous. If you want to be promiscuous, why the fuck does it matter if some dude won't wife you up for being promiscuous? You want to be promiscuous. Why the fuck does that matter if just keep fucking dudes, they're not gonna say no.
So why do people who want...
You getting real low, come on.
Why do people who like sex with teenage people don't have sex with underage?
Because it's against the law.
Why? So...
I mean, I guarantee you, if they like to have sex with underage kids, they're probably still gonna do it. But...
So I'm like, right now, even though we understand it's a fact, like, men aren't, like, they don't cheat because they have that desire. They do have the choice to cheat or not to cheat, right? Can we agree on that,
yes.
right? Okay, so the same way with a female, like, yes, she wants to have sex, but she does have the right to decide if she's going to have sex or not have sex. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because she do understand now the consequences of me having, hold on, the consequences of me having sex with all these people back. I just had sex with two people I just had sex with 2 people earlier this week, right? To add one more to my number is just fucked up, I'm not gonna have sex with anybody.
Why does it matter if you're promiscuous?
You're saying that women are more promiscuous, and I'm not
saying women are more promiscuous. I'm saying that most women don't want to be promiscuous. Because if you did, that type of shit wouldn't even fucking matter.
I am stating that women would like to have a partner, but we do also understand that this world is not a 1-for-1 partner. So whilst you may be with one partner as a guy and you can look at me and be like, oh yeah, you could go and you could be like, have like 6 other females in your lifetime in comparison to your one partner. When a man looks at a female, you're expecting that we are having you and me and that's it, right? So now in a lifetime I've been with one person, and in a lifetime you've been with me and 6 more people. Relationships nowadays are a little different, so people are more open to the idea of not just this thing and just maybe a poly relationship. So that's why I'm saying people are more open to that. So my point is, I believe that women on the whole nowadays are more open to wanting to be a little more promiscuous because they can now pay for their own bills.
Okay,
and
no.
don't have to be cheated on.
We were arguing the video. The video said that woman libido or sex drive increases the older they get.
Okay.
And you were trying to say that women wish they could be more promiscuous. And I said, no, they do not. Because y'all are more interested in connections, deep connections.
So, yes, women are interested in finding companionship. We want to grow old with people. We want to be cared for by a particular person.
And I was saying, if these bitches wanted that, when they were having their hot girl summer, they little, when they had their slut phase or whatever, when they was in their 20s, that slut phase wouldn't be a phase. They would just be
a whole thing. And that's why I don't agree with you on that, because you can have desires as a man and as a woman. You can have desires. It doesn't really care about the sex at the point in time. Your response to those desires are different. So some people may be weak-minded and fall into desires of, let's think of, for instance, a guy who cheats on his wife. I cheated because I want pussy. Pussy was thrown at me, so I wanted pussy because I'm a man. Like, all I think about is sex. Like, if you want to use that saying, I have a high libido as a man, like, this is the reason why you did something. No, you kind of, like, there are men who will say,
it is a reason.
Yeah, but then there's some men who will be like, no, bro, I don't consider that, like, fact, like, don't think with your little head, think with your big head. So there's some men who would look at cheating.
Man, fuck them niggas, man. Y'all niggas no.
Just get up. It's not even like the cheating as a whole. Like, I'm just saying, on the whole, people respond to different things differently. So,
well, if you've experienced different things in life, for example, if I'm the type of dude who,
well, I don't want you to go with a whole.
I'm just saying,
but we're trying to talk about this point. So you're gonna give the example.
You want to give your examples and say when you want to say it, but I can't give mine. I get
No, it's not that you can't give examples. We've just been talking about this particular topic for a while now, like trying to get this point, and we were like, when we watched this, we would have repeated ourselves over and over and over. So I just want to make sure, like, you get what you were trying to say to me, or what I was saying. Like, do you understand where I'm coming from? Why women would feel that way? It's not.
Why women would feel they want to be more promiscuous? No, they don't. Y'all don't know.
But I don't. You see, that's what I'm saying. You're gonna give your example, and then you still don't understand the main reason.
What are you saying?
That conversation. I agree. Yes, women want to have companionship, but because nowadays, in this day and age, there is not a relationship where men are now still housing and taking care of women, paying bills and being head of leadership with household shit and all that. Women are actually taking care of themselves in some way or fashion. Some women feel more obliged to not having to deal with the bullshit of, you want to be with everybody and me, but you want me to be with you and you alone. So that's what I'm saying. Some like nowadays, this generation of
women don't get to dictate relationships. Men do.
Excuse me, but I said I'm not trying to tell you the dictatorship. I'm just telling you, as a result of us women being judged, if we had too much sex or no sex at all, like, are we loved more, wanted more because we would. Some dicks weren't in us, like we had less dicks, so therefore we're more valuable.
Yes.
Hold on, that's not something that we choose. Men choose that for us, right? But what we now
choose it too. But
as a woman now, my response for if I have that much sex, or when I have sex, or who I have sex with, changes. So yeah, I'm like, women respond to the fact that we know already we're being judged by this in society.
Why would it matter if you want dicks? Just keep getting dicks.
I don't know how else to tell you, but yeah, we just not gonna agree on this one.
You're trying to say that like women want to be promiscuous. If you want to be so promiscuous, it shouldn't matter how much dicks you take. You want dicks, keep taking dicks.
But it doesn't matter about just because you do you want more pussy?
Yeah.
Are you gonna go out now and just go fuck every single thing?
If I could.
And that means that you're just not gonna be with me anymore.
Exactly, yeah.
But you understand that.
Yes.
Like when you go out and you do that.
Yes, I understand that.
Right. But you still want more pussy. So are you telling me right now that's what you're doing?
No.
Why not? Why are you not doing?
Because you just said you'd leave if I got all the pussy.
So why are you responding to the stimulus? Like that's an effect, right? You don't want it to affect you, so you're not doing that, right? But you're a man, you have that desire still, your libido is still high, right?
Yes.
Okay, as a woman, we still don't mind having that sex, but we're not, because our stimulus was gonna affect us as men.
So you're saying from your own opinion, you think women want to be just as promiscuous as men, they just don't do it because then they won't have men.
I am stating yes, but I know when I say yes and then you say that's not an answer, so let me just say why I say that. No woman want to have companionship, but in this day and age, how companionship...
I find it very funny. We're listening to an infographic show that's debunking shit you say.
But in this day and age, women do understand that a relationship is not like you and just me.
What do you mean?
Everybody understand, like...
What is that? I have no idea what you mean by that.
People are understanding that men and females, people are just not as faithful. People are just not as faithful.
I don't think women are understanding that. It's not like understood that women just understand.
They don't understand it, but they see it and they know it. So like that's like something they already know in their head.
You say so.
Oh, do you know you could get cheated on? Like, yeah, I know I could
Everyone knows they can get cheated on,
right,
so that
so
doesn't
like
really make any sense.
I'm just trying so hard to just explain my point to you, and
I'm just being real. Like that's not understood. People aren't just like, oh, we cheat on us, whatever. Like, no, they're not.
I agree with you on that. My whole statement is just to state because women are going to be judged by it, we choose not to want to show certain things. The same way.
I disagree.
We just are gonna agree to disagree because I don't agree with your point. You're a guy, you get to do shit, and the same way, like I just gave you that scenario.
Guys get to do shit because it's natural for guys to do these things. It's not natural for women to do these things.
There's so much shit that's not natural in the world right now. Like
I'm just saying. If it was natural for women to be promiscuous, bitches wouldn't care if we wifed them up or not. They wouldn't care.
But I'm not going with the underlying reality of are they just is promiscuity something like genuine to them or not. I just want to let you know people have desires. So I can't explain why some women are promiscuous.
What do you mean desires? What does that mean?
The same way that you desire to have sex with somebody else, they also desire to have sex with somebody else except who they should have sex with. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, so you're saying some women want dicks?
According to what you would call dicks?
Yeah, they want dick.
Whilst you get to eat all the different types of cereals on the shelf, I'm going to be eating Captain Crunch for a very long time.
What's wrong with that?
The shit is got stale, my nigga. Like, do you think you...
So you're saying that women deserve to have multiple dicks in their lives?
Nobody is saying women deserve...
That is what you're saying! What the fuck are you saying? Explain yourself. We're on the podcast. Other people listening. You're talking to the world. Explain yourself. What are you saying?
I keep saying it, and every time
you want other Captain Crunch. When I say Captain Crunch, and I don't want you to say Captain Crunch, I'm talking about pussy.
And I'm talking about dicks.
Exactly. So why when I say dicks, you say you're not talking about dicks?
Because, like... This is relating back to the exact same example I was just trying to explain.
Which is...
Women are deciding that they can have...
dicks.
Like, people have feelings, not just... People have emotions. Whether you're male or female, you have emotions.
What does that mean?
So while you were over here talking about it's natural for man to be promiscuous, I understand that. But what about a woman who is in a relationship...
Yeah.
But then she has a sexual attraction to another man.
She for the streets.
regardless of if she's for the streets. Now,
She
hold on.
is not a suitable candidate for a relationship. Like a relationship, my bad.
But I'm not.
Like,
but that's not my point. My
are you
point is
saying?
not whether or not she's relationship ready. My point is the fact that she, as a person,
likes
can have-
multiple dicks
can have the desire.
for other dicks.
Y'all just hear it all the time.
Yes,
They-
I'm
they
going to
got
make
the
it sound
stuff
bad. I'm going to. Yes, she wants other dicks.
Yeah.
That's what you want. So if that's what she wants, she's not a suitable candidate
But-
for a relationship.
But this is it. It's not talking about are you a suitable candidate for a relationship. I'm telling you that the only reason why you don't see women out here having sex with Tom, Dick, and Harry, and the reason your granny and your mom and all those people, women in your life that you know just don't have sex with them, with other men, is because they know there's a consequence for doing that.
Same reason with me. Would you just ask me why I don't fuck
Right?
bitches?
So I'm letting you know, whilst you over here and you put in your mind, oh, women want to just have companionship. Yes, we do want
you
companionship.
do want companionship.
I just said that. I literally just said that.
Yes.
I'm not saying no.
So you're saying that all the bitches who we wife, we shouldn't wife them because they actually hoes in disguise. That's what you're trying to say.
No, I'm not saying
That is
was in
basically what I'm hearing right
disguise.
now. You shouldn't wife any bitch because they not really wifeable. All of them hoes in disguise.
I'm just saying that there are majority of females who, all females want companionship, but
But they also want dicks.
But for the ones who didn't, settle down early and didn't have like a husband or try to build any kind of, life with a singular person, and now they're getting older on in their age and they've gone through all their thought phases and now they want to settle down. They want to settle down just like any other person are the opposite. Like they want that because that's what females want.
That's how they play their cards.
We want to have companionship, but at the same time, there are females that want other. Yeah, they want other people in their lives, and not because they just want other people. Like they do understand, like the relationship I'm in is not a regular relationship; it's a poly relationship. So my guy is not with other people, but I'm with him, and I'm just gonna be with him. And this is just like what my life is gonna be like because.
I mean, if you thought he was so amazing, you wouldn't think it's crazy. You would think this makes sense.
And you would think that makes sense, and I get that, but somehow because females are emotional creatures, even though they understand that a man does not want them, they will put themselves in a situation and somehow try to change a man to wanting her alone, when in the fact you knew he didn't just want you alone from the get-go. So then you have females who are now in relationships craving to have that physical or whatever part they're missing from that guy not supplying.
What does that mean?
People get bored, people get tired of shit, so it's not just about you just wanting, females wanting other dick. Like, wherever phase or type of relationship could be in, there's always a time when somebody can have.
Well, then that's the moment where she's just not with you no
desire.
more. Like, I don't get. It's like she just she's not with you. Like, what does that mean?
But my whole point of saying, like everything we were talking about, is if women had the option of actually being in non-monogamous relationship, I believe that more women would be in more non-monogamous relationships if it was accepted by society. But
it's not accepted. How do I know that's my child?
Excuse me, I don't need you to argue with me. I didn't just say that for you to argue it. I am telling you, I understand it's not accepted. I know why it's not accepted. The rest of society knows why. All the
People obviously don't. You saying the statement, motherfuckers listen to that.
No.
They don't know.
That's the reason why.
The reason why is what? You didn't say the reason why.
I'm trying to
Okay.
talk. You
Go
just
ahead.
keep cutting me off. That's the reason why I'm saying women are
Watch this
not
again.
promiscuous. Because they don't have the option of being. But if you were supposed to ask a female if the world of
Okay, I'm gonna ask a female.
relationship-
If you didn't have to be monogamous, would you be monogamous?
I think the answer would be no.
No, you
A
would
lot
try
of
other.
people.
I'm asking you.
Me? No, I think I would.
That's my fucking point. Like,
What's your point?
I just said I don't know. I'm asking you. I said I'm asking you.
But we're not talking
I
about
don't-
me, so when do you want me to? You need to like make it clear, like we're talking about a.
I'm saying okay. You said if you ask a lot of females, I said okay. Well, I'm asking female. I'm asking you. If you had the choice or option, would you? You said no. I'm pretty sure if I asked most females, they would also say no.
I think I would beg to differ, but you know we can run
We
that.
can bet that. We can bet that. I'm just letting you know. No, a lot of them would say no.
Just that's just how I feel. You know.
Okay,
But,
I don't know why you feel this way, but yes, I don't agree. I think if you ask
I mean
me, they say no.
that's going off of
What?
of speaking to when you ask a woman why did you cheat on him, he cheated on me.
The fuck? What is that?
So you're cheating on him not because you don't care about him, not because you don't want to be with him, not because you love him or anything like that. It's just
What does that
because
mean?
he cheated on you.
That would
And
make
it's
the answer
fact
no
that-
even more.
The fact that so much emphasis is put onto that desire that you want someone to want you that much. So when you're not wanted in a situation anymore, and now a female goes and puts herself into another situation, which is now considered promiscuity in a man's eyes, to her, she's not thinking that. She's thinking on her emotions.
You're talking about a woman reacting on something.
Yeah, but
But you said woman wants to be promiscuous. It means not reacting. That means you want to do this.
So every want and desire, like you didn't want to fuck that bitch in the corner store as much as you wanted to if I was as nice to you in the house and I sucked your dick earlier in the morning. If I had sucked your dick and was nice to you earlier, when that bitch walked up to you and tried to talk to you in the store and you was happy and you had bust your nut, you might have not paid as much attention as you did in the store when you didn't get your nut sucked out of you, and now she's in front of you and egging you on so that you could actually get your nut off. So why would you pay attention to her now? Because it's kind of like a consequence. So life is like that. Like you can't just say, oh, you promiscuous for life now.
I get where you going with that, but I still could fuck that bitch even if I got.
I'm not saying no. Like I don't need you to prove yourself. That's not a proving yourself thing. I'm just letting you know, like reality. Fact, you go through consequences of life and everything is like dun dun.
But that
dun,
is not.
dun.
That's not clearing up anything.
But I'm not. We're not agreeing on it, so that's what I'm just saying. We just
We're
have
not
to
agreeing because I'm trying to point out facts.
I understand your facts, babe, but I also believe that you as a guy who don't have no other situation but just the ability to say, oh, I can use the excuse, well, I'm a man, to say why you looking at ass all the time or why you wanna fuck. I'm not saying that's not a good answer. It's a positive answer, but you're not a female, so you don't know how it is to have a man
One
look
dick.
at you and judge you off of your body count numbers.
We're not
Hold on.
talking about one dick.
What about one day?
If you want dick, you would get dick. You just would do it.
I just don't. I'm not saying if you just want dick. Obviously, they're females, so you know just love sex that much, and then they just want sex. We was just watching someone on Passion Fit. What's that name, girl? What's her name? Sarah, not Sarah. Kelly, whatever.
Susie? What the
Susie, who trying to lock arms. Like, yeah, like she wants dick. Like you can see she's
She
pursuing
didn't want
dick.
dick. She just wants some attention. She just wants attention.
But didn't you say she also fucks anybody who will give her attention?
Yes, some women
so
want attention that
so
much.
she wants dick, and she's going to get
No,
dick.
she wants attention.
Okay, well, either way, when she get the attention, then after she get attention, then she want the dick. Who she get attention
the
from?
attention from wanting the attention gets your dick, but that bitch just want attention. She just want to know she pretty. She wants attention. She truly don't want the dick.
Hey,
if she could get the attention without the dick, she would.
If every person, I get you, but just because every time she gets attention, she fucks the person
She gonna
who's
get
getting
dick down.
attention, then I'm going to correlate with she wants dick too. Like it's not the same. It's not.
No,
like,
that's
it's
what I'm
not
trying
a
to point out.
scenario.
That's what I'm trying to point out.
She wants
Women
attention.
do not want sex in that way. Y'all are not interested in sex in that way.
And I agree with you on that. I keep saying, every time you bring it up, I agree with you on it. I'm not saying that we out here just wanting to hunt. We are not hunters. We want to have companionship.
No, you were pretty much saying woman wants to be promiscuous.
No, I'm saying we want companionship, but when a guy decides not to choose us and now we have to move on and we end up fucking 10 guys in a span of 2 months because none of them call us back on a second date, we as a female, we females aren't judging us. Men who are telling us, oh, well, you fuck this much, because as men, y'all are saying y'all fuck so much guys, y'all are not worthy of being a wife, whatever. So now we're in this category because we're promiscuous, because we're having this much sex, but it's not because we want to have this much sex. We really want to like stick with this guy. We gave him sex and hope he'd stay with us, but he didn't stay with us. So now we moved on and we had sex with another guy, hope that he'd stay with us. And because our number keep racking up like this and we're not choosing right, which I understand it's all our fault because we're not choosing right, you're still telling us like we're promiscuous. Like, no, I don't think like in that sense like you're not promiscuous. Now, are there females who out here want to fuck all the time? Yes, they are. For those, I agree with you. But then not females who
well, then tell me how, for a man, tell me how I'm going to tell the difference. How I'm going to tell the difference and you fuck these 10 dudes in this month and you, oh, I didn't mean to do it. I wasn't trying to be promiscuous, but this bitch was trying to be promiscuous. How the fuck I tell the difference between her and you when both y'all doing the same goddamn thing?
Look, I'm not here to help you find a wife.
Exactly, that's my point. It's like, we're not even gonna take the chance. You're complaining about something that is just a smart decision.
Again, I am not arguing that a man's decision to not wipe a bitch like that.
That's basically what you was doing, but we can watch this over.
I'm gonna make my point very clear. I am not arguing that a man's decision to not wipe a woman who is promiscuous is wrong. He has the right to choose the type of spouse and person that he wants to deal with. I am not disagreeing that at all. What I am telling you is, as a man who you are being the judger and saying, hey, because you have this number, you are not qualified to become my wife because you are promiscuous. Y'all just say that stuff. Y'all are the person on the receiving end of it. And as a female who is on the receiving end of
it. But we on the receiving end of other shit. Hey, you're not tall enough. You don't make enough money. I don't like your car. You don't even have like, it's so much.
But again, we're not talking about those things. We're talking about these things. I'm not asking you.
No, you don't get to talk about the shit that women get disqualified for and not bring up what men don't get disqualified for.
But I'm not bringing it up in hopes that you can find sympathy for me. I'm just telling you that I honestly believe that there are females out here who do not have an issue with getting sex. Because not only do they want it, but some people just are in that life where they're not getting the response they want from their significant other. And because they have a significant other and they're not ending that relationship before they may be trying to mingle with someone else, that's promiscuity to a man. But to a woman, she's not looking at it like, yo, I'm out here being the biggest slut of the world. But to a man, he's going to look at it and say, red flag, I don't want you. So I think every situation is different, and I don't disagree with it. I am not looking for the sympathy.
So you're not looking for argument, you're just talking. This guy started annoying me a little bit. Every time I try to argue with what you're saying, hey, I'm not disagreeing. What are we fucking talking about? Just continue the video. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? I can't argue with what you're saying because you're not trying to argue. The fuck are we talking about then?
We know this sounds like an old-fashioned stereotype, but this is what researchers have found out. It seems men are just more simple in regard to sex. They look at women and some chemical reactions go off in their heads and they wouldn't mind jumping into bed with this woman. Women, on the other hand, will be aroused often only when other environmental factors are involved. As another researcher put it, sexual desire in women is extremely sensitive to environment and context. This social scientist wrote the book, The Social Organization of Sexuality, Sexual Practices in the United States. In a purely evolutionary sense, a male might want to spread his seed to as many women as possible if they look like they could provide him some.
That's fine, let's see. You just keep bobbing.
I wanted to let it go on a little bit further, but I was going to say, pause. That basically declared everything I just said. Women do not want to be promiscuous. They don't even have the urge to. When they young, they just dumb. When they get older, they don't want to do it no more. They have absolutely no urge whatsoever to be promiscuous. If you are a woman and you get older and you decide you want some other dick, it's because you either unhappy or he did something. It is not because you want to be promiscuous.
Can I ask a question? So why do females wear perfume? Why do you think females wear perfume?
I don't fucking know.
Why do you think females dress
for other women? For I don't know,
they
for
dress
attention.
so they could, okay, so women want attention. Who are they getting attention from?
Ben, most times.
Right. So men are giving attention. If now they have a man and their man is not giving them attention, what happens next?
Other men still don't give them attention.
Okay, and then what would other men who are seeing a female who has a guy but seeking other attention from a different man, what would another man outside consider that female?
Oh, she going.
Right, she promiscuous, right?
I mean, she honestly going. She want that much attention. She going in some way.
Right, so
Or I could possibly give her. Somebody gonna give her.
I'm not denying that fact. I understand that. I see that as a female that we are being judged that way. But a lot of females, as you said, don't see that when they're younger. They don't understand what the importance of trying to find the best me is then. To them, they're like, my best life is for me to live. But really, your best life is so that you can find a partner and then live your best life. They don't think of it like that.
Mm-hmm.
So they live their best life in their 20s and now they're single and the options that they have left are very minimum. So you have a minimum amount and now you are in a kind of an unwanted number, because why would somebody choose an older product when they could choose something that's younger?
An older used product.
An older used product.
If you were an older product, it still wouldn't be that bad.
I mean, I got you, but older used product versus, someone that's younger. So you would have a woman now who, she still wants to be desired and have that companionship, but she's not gonna be able to get that from a guy. So that's why, like, if we go on a dating app, you can have like all the ugly females are always on our dick versus the cute ones, because the cute ones have options. The ugly ones are like, well, if you're giving me attention and you would spend the day with me and we can be friends, then let's do this. And I'm gonna message you and I'm gonna work hard for this. Right? So you would have women who seek more attention and therefore they appear and they are, and I agree with you on this, they are more promiscuous because they just want that. But in reality,
Oh, no, I'm gonna stop right there. No. Even those, what you just tried to say, those ugly women, they are less promiscuous than the hoes who have all those options. The hoes who have all those options are way light years more promiscuous.
I'm not saying no.
Yes, you just said something though in there that made it seem as if they aren't.
But I'm going off of like our example because I know that's
okay. And even our example, it is the attention, but it's because they understand what they can get, and if they can get this dude if they can only get this dude to commit to them, but they can get this dude who won't commit to them but will have sex with them, they will have sex with him because of how he looks and all of this. But they know they can't get this type of guy. I get what you're saying.
But then they also know that and it's a difference when you can't get guys at all. So when you can't get guys
every woman
at all,
can get guys. It's a complete fallacy. Every woman can get guys.
Just for like the ugly one, the ones that you would want to have attention looking at you, like the guys you want
that's what I was
talking to
explaining.
you, they're not talking to you. So because of that situation, they seem more promiscuous. They seem more like, oh, I'm different, I'm going, but they're not. And that's why I'm saying, like, I don't believe people, like females would choose to be more promiscuous, but it's not because they want to be more promiscuous. I think it's because of the stimuluses they're responding to around them in their environment.
That's exactly what the fucking show just said.
Proliferate his genes. But with women, it doesn't make evolutionary sense to sleep with any old man. They'll be looking for a suitable mate. As for masturbation, around 2/3 of adult men, married or not, will carry on being the beaver. More so, of course, if they're not in a healthy sexual relationship. Still, they'll usually knock the odd one out on the sly, even if they are with someone. On the other hand, only about 40% of adult women report masturbating, and if they do it less often than men. Men also seek out more sex when it comes at a cost. The vast majority of prostitution is men seeking women or other men, rather than women seeking another woman or a man. Even priests who've taken a vow of celibacy seek sex more than nuns seek sex. So, let's go
Pause right there.
inside men and women.
Boom. That explains everything. I think that was a very good example. If women were so promiscuous, why these hoes ain't paying for dick? You don't want to get caught, right?